11 life paths. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about 11 life paths bend reality. You have the ability within you. My 11 life paths, I want you to really listen to this very, very carefully. You have the ability to bend reality. That's the truth. Now, we're going to get into some very, very important, deep aspects that I highly, highly, highly believe. If we learn how to master these aspects, we become a very strong force in the universe. Okay, we make a ripple effect, we help our families, we help society, and we grow. And most importantly, you help yourself. Never feel bad for saying that. Never feel bad for saying that. When you get out in an airplane, one of the first things that they tell you is before you try to help anyone else out, put your own mask on in case of an emergency. If anything happens to you or your family, you've got to be the one that has your mask on before you help out anyone else. Okay? Now, number one thing as an 11 life path that you have to master, number one, is your emotions. This is our greatest test. Let me get into the metaphysical aspect of this, okay? This is very spiritual. If you see, the thing with 11 life paths is that we've been through things in our life that the vast majority of people have never been through. We've been through perpetual trauma, pain, suffering. It seems like one thing gets fixed, then another thing happens, then you deal with that thing, then another thing comes up, and you're always in like consistent battle. You feel like that the vast majority of people just don't feel you. Like, you just do not feel like the vast majority of people understand you as a human or as a soul. And you've just been through a lot. So when you go through all this suffering and trauma, okay, what ends up happening is that you start to let your emotions dictate who you choose to be, right? So if you're the type of person that is consistent, and emotions just don't mean that you're sensitive, even though that's a very big part of it, but emotion means falling into the carnal mind, falling into the 3 lower chakras. Okay, the 3 lower chakras, right? Your red chakra, yellow, and orange. These are your 3 chakras. I think it's solar, sacral, and root. So these 3 chakras, if they're not transmuted as an 11 life path, if you do not learn how to transmute, this is a whole science, guys. This is a whole science I'm talking to you guys about. Okay, if you do not learn how to transmute these energies and have control over your emotional aspect, how do you expect to thrive as an 11 life path? And one thing, understand one thing, guys. You have the deck of cards on your sides. You are naturally charismatic. Okay, you don't have to lower your pitch high, make your pitch higher. Like the way I'm talking, sometimes I just talk very normally and a lot of people listen to me. One of my most viewed videos, I was a little shocked on YouTube. It's called Cut from a Different Cloth, if you want to watch it. I was just talking very normally. I wasn't talking in a high-pitched tone. I think I was talking in a low to medium-pitched tone. And that video was like, it was my most viewed video on YouTube, like long form videos, which I'm so happy about. But you just don't have to, you don't even have to like You don't have to try. You don't even have to try. Things just flow to you. But at the same time, you've got to take action. Do you see what I mean? Because I feel like if trying is something like you're trying to force things, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, action is like you're in flow, you've built momentum, and you're just used to doing it, and you're just doing it, and you're mastering your emotions. Like being stoic. If someone comes to you as an 11 life path, you have to understand this, like, right? People are going to keep talking in your life because you're very charismatic. You are a charismatic person, right? And a lot of people are going to talk. A lot of people are going to criticize you. A lot of people are going to say things to you, but you can't take it personal, right? Because the vast majority of times, I need you guys to pay such close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Most people are just reflecting their own insecurities on you. Okay, you have to get this. The vast majority of people have a lot of insecurities, unfortunately, right? So what ends up happening is, you've heard the phrase, misery loves company. So when someone is miserable, they want to just drag most people with them into that misery, right? So when someone doesn't follow their dream, they're trying to tell you as an 11 life path to not follow your dreams. But now it's really up to you. Are you going to listen to this person? It's really, really up to you. And as an 11 life path, you have very high intuition. So your emotional side is something you've got to learn how to control. Being even sensitive, like, okay, listen, it's okay to be sensitive. It really is. Okay? But how do you transmute that energy? That's something to think about. There are some people that are some 11 life paths. And look, if you're on my page, and you want me to just make it rainbows and unicorns and sunshine, you're probably at the wrong place, son. You're at the wrong page. Shouldn't be here. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Like how it really is, okay? Now, for some 11 life paths, some of us are just too, like, it doesn't make sense how sensitive we are. Someone might tell you, something, and this is a minority of us, but it's there. Someone might give you constructive criticism, or they might tell you something, you might just take it the fully wrong way. You might be like, oh, you're judging me, you're doing this to me, no, I'm not. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm giving you constructive criticism. That's what I'm doing. Okay, like, and you have to understand, even if someone is judging you, you can't stop that. Even if I've judged you, which sometimes I do make the mistake of doing that, I'm gonna admit, it's very hard to not. It's very hard, but I've mastered it to a very good extent. So I'm very happy about that. But I'd be lying if I say I don't. It's hard. It's very hard. But you and I cannot stop other people from judging us. 11 Life Path, I want you to hear that. We can't stop that. It's gonna end up happening, okay? But why would you let it even affect you or impact you? You shouldn't. You just shouldn't, right? Now, let's get into another aspect. So, when I talk about emotions, right? See, what happens in the Western world is that we suppress the symptoms, but we don't get to the root cause. You have to dissect the root, right? That's what even Big Pharma's doing right now. You know, they're just giving people medicines and they're expecting them to be better. But you have them on a perpetual plan. You're messing with these people. This is something else that I'm very passionate about. You're just giving them pills every month and like, oh, until you're dead. But you're not actually getting to the root cause. Now, if you look at the whole chakra system, okay? Even if you read the Bible and talks about the Jacob's ladder, where he met God, okay? Kundalini, you've got to clear up your 3 lower chakra points, 11 life paths. I'm getting to the root. Some people love listening to it, but some people are like, no, okay, like, okay, you've gave me entertainment, you've made me laugh, you've made me entertained. I'm like, no, but the root reason, no. That's the darkness that you've got to go through to find the light. You cannot get light without going through the dark. You gotta go through the dark to find light. There's a yin and yang aspect in this life, okay? Your root chakra has to do with your attachment to material, your attachment to pleasure, sex, and your attachment to just gluttony, food, okay? All these forms of attachment are making you putting you in a relegated state of consciousness. Okay, they're getting you too attached to the flesh. When you're too attached to the flesh, you start looking at things from a very emotional aspect. This is why if you're an 11 life path man, you need to know that you're in cycles. You can't just always have fun and always be eating, always be having sex. No. You are in cycles. There are times where you have to constrain and restrain yourself from being in your pleasure centers. Because if you don't learn how to do that, eventually what will happen is that you will start to drain your energy centers. You'll be so much into the root chakra that for you to harness your 11 frequency will become very hard. Now, for the 11 life path woman, look, this is for both genders, okay? I was speaking to an 11 life path girl yesterday. She's a very good friend of mine. And we were talking about semen retention for men. And she basically talked to me about how it feels to be a woman and all this, and like desires and everything, okay? And basically I gave her an idea where try to constrain yourself for a certain amount of time. You guys can look all this stuff up. Learn how to constrain yourself. And I don't know, I'm just like, I don't know what her personal life is or whatever, but I just gave it, it wasn't like even like it was more of like just this, like I just said it, like, you know, I'm like, it was an opinion. It's not like I was trying to advise her on it, or maybe I was. And the reason why I do that is because 11 life paths actually ask me, or else like I don't like to give advice to people, but a lot of you guys have messaged me and asked me for advice, and that's what I love about my 11 life paths, is that they're open for new suggestions. Like, they're open-minded. They're not like just freaking like dogmatic about everything and like no, you guys are actually open-minded. And this is why you guys are like portals. If you look at 11, you guys are like we guys are like portals. We can go in and out of dimensions because we're open to new ideas, right? So until you do not master these emotions, you're going to be at a relegated consciousness. And you're going to deplete yourself of your vital force energy. And once you tap into that energy, you will see, because like, here's what the thing is, right? If you're always eating, and this is with no judgment. Hey, listen, we all go through cycles of life, okay? There were times where I was just eating, okay? Learn this too, because like, we cannot judge people because we can fall into the same trap. You start to become the same person that you judge. So this is not that, but what I'm trying to tell you is, in general, if you keep eating and you keep eating, how do you expect to rise above the lower points and get to the higher points and receive messages? How do you expect that? Because in order for you to receive heavy messages, you have to learn how to control, constrain your desires, and then you have to learn how to transmute it. You have to learn how to do these things. And as an 11 life path, if you actually put in the work and you actually start to take perpetual action, and you rise above the emotional mind, the mind of confusion, the mind of deception, the mind of a state of just, like, it's not even like it's a state of lower consciousness, okay? And in some cases, it could become a state of hell, okay? Yes, you can face hell on earth. Okay, there's people that are facing hell on earth right now because they're bonded to their emotions. They have they're attached, and because they're in their lower centers, what ends up happening is that they start taking everything offensive. Everything, oh, like, you need a haircut. Oh, why'd you say that to me? Oh my God, you think I'm not good looking? It's because they're bonded with their emotions, with their lower chakras, and because they're so bonded with that, they start becoming insecure about their shit. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm literally just trying to be honest with you. Okay? Now it's okay. It's okay. Listen to me. It's totally okay to cheat on your food here and there. Okay? Have your box of cookies here and there. Have your pizza here and there. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? Look, another thing is, and I'm probably going to get into the depth of this, so if you want to subscribe to my channel, do that, because I'm coming up with more important videos. The moon cycle, there are phases of the moon cycle in which you should not release your semen as a man and fully stay celibate. Now, if you're a lady watching this, it's probably more important for you to know this than even a man. I'll tell you why. Because when you're looking for a partner, and if your partner is just always in his car, no mind, you're going to feel it. And for my men out there, my 11 life path men, listen to me very carefully. Us guys, listen. 11 life path, you're like a soldier. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not just saying this because you're an 11. No, like, go do some more research on other channels if you want to about this stuff. You're like a soldier. Like, you're, if you look at even like the top athletes, the celebrities, okay, politicians that bend things, okay, they're 11 life paths. They're 11s, okay. You have the power within you. what you start needing to, what you need to do, okay? And I'm not saying you need to do it right now. I'm not saying that you need to just do it right now, okay? But there are things that you need to do, okay? If you're not doing them already, exercises that you need to do to raise above the carnal mind. Even if you have to invest in yourself, do it. If you need a coach, do it. I'm not coaching anyone right now. I'm just making videos. So I'm not offering no coaching. But I'll tell you, go look at other YouTubers. Go look at other people. If you're having a hard time, I'll tell you something. When I did semen retention, on my longest streak, I still remember I was going back and forth with a dude. Talking to him. He was on the streak. I was on the streak. And we would just exchange ideas on how to actually maneuver through this streak. And we like pushed ourselves very hard to like do a long streak. And I remember that became my longest streak. So as an 11 life path, if you are not holding yourself accountable, which you should, but if you're not doing it and it's getting hard, and I understand that right now we live in a weird time where it is getting hard, find yourself a coach and get mentored by someone. And learn how to master your emotions. As an 11 life path woman, okay, here's what they say, okay? Here's what they say. They say that a man that cannot control his impulsivity, his impulses, his desires, and a woman that cannot control her emotions, both are equally to not be trusted. Both are equally to not, you cannot trust both of these people. Both of them. Because when the man is impulsive, he'll go cheat. When a woman gets in her emotions, she'll go cheat. Or they'll go, they'll start fighting, they'll start doing this, they'll start doing that. These are, they're too much into their emotions and their impulsivity, so you cannot trust these people. It's just a hard fact. It's a hard truth. Okay? So master these emotions. I'm telling you, your emotional side is something that if you learn how to actually master it, you will feel much better. You will feel much better. It cannot always be pleasure. It just can't always be like that. With 11 life paths, another thing is we're very sensitive to food. I'm kind of shocked because I've talked to so many 11s, and so many 11s have told me that they eat once a day. And this is no coincidence, because I don't believe in any coincidence. There's nothing that's a coincidence. So I've had 11 life paths tell me they eat once a day. And I hear you. Like, I literally hear you, because like we really feel like it's different, because we're vibrating on a very different energy. So we like feel everything. Like, we feel the breeze, we feel the tree. Like last night I went on a walk, and I felt like the tree was talking to me. So we feel on a very different level. So like when you're eating the wrong foods, you're gonna feel it on a different level. I haven't had Popeye's chicken for like years now. I haven't drank Coke or Sprite for years now. Cause like the after effect of that, I just can't handle it. I can't handle that effect. I just can't handle it. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, for me, like, I need to make sure that I try my best, and sometimes I do fall, but then I pick myself back up, try to just eat the right foods, because you have to understand, in the end of the day, food is energy. Like, when you get to the like prime, like when you get to like the actual substance, it's energy. Okay? And food is a blessing, but it's like, how emotional do you get? Like, it has, again, it all has to go back, it all goes back to your emotions. Everything that I'm talking to you about in this video, it might seem a little complex. You're like, you're talking about emotions, but isn't that just being sensitive? No, 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 no. I'm getting to the root. I'm getting to the subconscious. If you want to influence someone, you don't talk to the front of their mind. You talk to the back of their mind. You talk to their subconscious. And I'm telling you, I'm getting to the root of this. I'm getting to the root. And at the very root, it's the emotional aspect. It's the 3 lower chakras that people are fully engaged in. Like, it's where they live. For most people, that's where they live. They're thinking about the material world, they're thinking about food, and they're thinking about sex. 3 things they're thinking about, most people. If that's all you think about, that's all on your mind, okay? Or if that's all that someone is doing, and I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying in general, then higher knowledge becomes not easy to access. Because what is the sacrifice that you're coming with? Always remember the sacrifice. Are you coming with a sacrifice? When you go to meet the Almighty, what was your sacrifice on earth? What did you put, like, what was that? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I'm probably gonna wrap up this video, and this was a very, I actually had a very good time talking to you guys about this. You can go watch my other videos on my channel, okay? It can give you a scope of what I'm talking about, because being an 11 life path is very deep. Okay, it's a very deep thing. It's not a joke, and I've talked to many people about this, and a lot of 11 life paths, they talk to me. They're like, they're having a lot of 11 life paths have a lot of dreams. Their intuition is very high and all this stuff, and I keep reminding them, I'm like, you're an 11 life path. Remember that. That being said, peace.